100%. I think the one of the items most neglected is our database. We're always looking for that shiny object. And honestly, for me, and especially in my business, it's my gold mine. That's what has kept me going for all these years, and that's what gets me the people ask for the ROI, best ROI. I mean, the people that know you and trust you already are the best people to talk to and work with.
Absolutely. So we're on Marketing Matters this morning with Juan Grimaldo. He is an amazing team leader over at Keller Williams. And the way that he works his clientele, the way that he works his database is absolutely wonderful. I know we've been talking a lot on Marketing Matters about the importance of database, because really summer is a great time to really get into the nuts and bolts of your business, right? How are you marketing? Who are you marketing to? So we've been focusing a lot this summer on the importance of the database. So I'm really excited to have Juan on today, because he is going to really dive into not just the importance, but understanding why it's important, how you can process this, and how you can really squeeze the most life out of your database and the people that already know, like, and trust you. So Juan, thanks for being on today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, like we said, you follow a lot of the KW principles, such as, hosting events, working your database, doing regular mailings and whatnot, and really working that sphere of influence. So let's start out, just telling us a little bit more about how you work your database in general.
Well, we have what it's called Command. It's a database, and we keep all of our clients and sphere in there. And I have the 4 musts that I have to have with every single client of mine, or every single person that I talk to, which is I got to have their birthday so I can call them for their birthday. I want to have their anniversary when we close that property, right? So that we can send them a letter and also follow up with them on their anniversary. And most importantly, quarterly calls and neighborhoods. So the database has a smart plan, we call it, which notifies the client every single month. It follows up with them, letting them know what the value of their home is. So those are the 4 musts that I have. There's other things in there that we add, but those are the most important ones that I have in there.
Nice.
Why it's important? I think the most important thing about the database is building relationships, and we become so, how can I say this? So kind of numb to the business that we just want to do another transaction, another deal. But in reality, you're dealing with people. So to me, it's important to have that relationship with our clients. Is it easy? It's freaking hard. I mean, we have over 2,000 people that I've met in my database, and it's not easy to keep track of the conversations, everything that we talk about. So having a beautiful database, which any database is good as long as you use it, right?
That's spot on.
So that's the most important part. And I think that if you build relationships, I mean, you'll have a beautiful business that is going to give you fruits forever.
Absolutely, absolutely. So take me through a little bit of what y'all's process is when it comes to you. All right, like a new client. So you've met a client, you need to get them entered, into all the information into your database. Take me a little bit through, especially if I'm a newer agent, what does that kind of look like?
I think the newer agents have a huge advantage versus me. Like I did everything backwards. I started building the database after I had a bunch of people, so it was super hard. We're still working on it. I mean, it's like a never-ending thing. However, it's a lot more efficient now. It's a lot cleaner. So if you're a newer agent, man, you have a huge advantage, especially listening to this. I wish somebody would have told me this at the beginning, right? So I just met you. I'm going to add your phone number, your email, your date of birth, and your address. That way I can contact you in every which way. With Keller Williams, I don't know if you've read the MREA, or if any of you have not read the MREA, there's a Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. I encourage you to read it. It's the Bible for real estate. It's how to do real estate right. It gives you, it's a blueprint on how to do your database in your business. So I meet you, I add you to my database, and then I'm going to follow up with you. And I think we dropped the ball there so much because we want to do farming, we want to do Facebook, we want to do Instagram, TikTok, everything. And all of those things are great, right? But what really gets my business going is making sure that I meet these people, I follow up with them, I stay in contact, and build that relationship, which is going to, little by little bear fruit.
Absolutely. Okay. So another question that I have for you around the database, because just like you mentioned, you started building before you had a lot of the database foundation down. So a lot of times, one of the things that I see is realtors will have maybe a phone number or a Facebook contact, and they don't have all the information.
Right.
What do you and your team do to help to build out your database and complete the information if maybe you only have a couple of pieces of contact to go on?
Well, that's a good excuse, right? I mean, you have them on Facebook, send a message, say, hey, how you doing? Just want to reach out. I have this. Is this accurate? Great. By the way, would you like sharing with me your email address? And what would you need? I just want to send you some market updates, let you know what's going on, and invite you to special events. And then, by the way, when is your date of birth? Well, why would you need my date of birth? Well, when your birthday comes up, I want to make sure I know, and I give you a call. Obviously, on Facebook, the cool thing is not everybody, but most people have their birthday in there. So you can grab the birthday from there and just, follow up. And that's a good way to touch. So going back to what I was saying about the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, it has in there what is called a 36 touch, meaning that, and there's a science to this, like they've done studies, and in order for you to be able to be on people's top of mind, you're going to have to do these 36 steps. And if you do that, you're going to win with them. Not only that, just with them, but they're also going to refer you to their friends and family, which is where this gets exponential, right? The more people you know, the more people you feed into it, the bigger your business is going to be and get.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, it really is. If you don't have everybody's contact information, it is a wonderful excuse to reach out and to, get that touch. Ooh, excuse me.
You're good. So yeah, I mean, there's always, and we're always making up excuses, right? You always have something to talk about. Right now, they're going on vacation. They just came back from vacation. Their kids are going back to school. So how's the family? There's another acronym for it: family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. And we script practice with our team about this. And it's something simple, but if you're consistent, if you're feeding that database daily, it's going to give you so much.
Nice. And okay, so out of the 2,000 contacts or so that you have in your database, how often are you and your team reaching out to each of those individuals? What does that kind of look like?
So I make phone calls daily. And so basically, it's been a work in progress. So now I have daily tasks. So I just did my phone calls this morning. From 8 to 10, I make phone calls. So what I do consistently is I call. Maybe I don't call an hour, maybe I call 2, maybe I call half an hour, but I'm consistent every day, and I only work 4 days a week. And out of those 4 days a week, we do a pretty good business. So it's just making sure that you have and set up a schedule for those quarterly calls. As I was saying earlier, I have people that I call today for their birthday. I have people today that I call for their quarterly calls. I have people that I call for their anniversaries, and I have follow-ups. So make sure that you set up these tasks so that you follow up, because you can get to the point where for example, there was a time where I was just calling people to call people because that was my job, right? To do the phone calls. I wasn't being intentional. So building those relationships is super important, because people are going to feel you, when you call just to get business, or are you truly calling to help them out? So one example that I have right now is, some of one of the items that kind of throws you off every now and then is your goals, right? So we're right in the middle of the year. So Sarah, we spoke at the beginning of the year. You mentioned that you didn't have any goals. Did you come up with any goals this year that I can help you achieve? So before we even ask for the business, I'm helping you. Now, you know what? We have a hefty goal. This is the goal that we have as a team. We want to help so many families reach the goal of home ownership, or to help them sell their home and move on to the next one. Who Sarah, that I can call today?
Nice.
Very intentional, but before you ask, you want to be of value, right?
I like that. No, I like the be intentional aspect, because I think, we hear a lot about you've got to prospect, 2 hours a day, and that is, phone calls, but really is what is the content? What is the context of your phone calls, how are you adding value? So Juan, can you tell us a little bit more about when you guys do make those calls, how do you add value to your clients without just getting on the phone and be like, are you ready to sell your house?
Yeah, so there's many things that we do. At the beginning of the year, we help them with their goals. Right now, we have a client appreciation event. We run a movie theater for our clients, and we already have, I think we're at capacity. We're expecting 400 people. And then we also have the pie party, come October. And then this year, we're gonna do pictures with Santa. And so there's always an event going on. We're giving him something. Not only that, the market updates, what's going on in the market. When people talk to you, we want to ask questions to really listen. Because again, we all fall into that trap. We just want to make more phone calls. Well, how do we really make sure that we talk to our clients in a way that they feel heard, right? Like they feel like they're being understood, and they're understanding you're not calling just to get something from them. But okay, what most people ask you, what is the market doing? How's the market going? Be truthful about it, right? You know what? Rates are high, maybe, they're not. They're actually, in average, since 1950, we're at 7.7%. It's another thing, your stats, right?
Yes.
And then where are we at with inventory? The inventory is really low. It's getting smaller by the day. So if people are thinking about buying, well, the rates are high. Well, if you wait, if the rates drop, what's going to happen? So you can provide value, not just by giving them something, but give them your expertise, right? Because you're basically an advisor to them, right? And I think providing that kind of information, I think that's a lot of value, because those people that were waiting to purchase or are waiting to purchase, if they purchase now and then 3-4 months later they realize that the market went up, and they're grateful for that. Now that conversation is going to be a lot smoother when you talk to them and say, hey, you know what, I'm so glad you called me, dude. I'm glad I am able to purchase that property for that price. Not only that, now I can refinance if the rates drop, right? What if rates drop? Well, what if they did? Awesome, you bought at a beautiful price. You're not going to be fighting with that other buyer, or those other buyers or investors that are now trying to try to scoop up all the inventory, and now you're in a bad position. So providing value not necessarily means that you're going to give him something away. You're not going to give him a gift, but the gift of your knowledge is huge, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think in real estate, one of your highest value propositions is being a source for people, or the source of the source, being able to connect them with other people, other businesses. If you've just sold somebody a house and they need to do renovations on it, you having a list of contacts that they can work with. This is a way for you to constantly, stay top of mind with them, stay in front of them. It builds up the trust, and you are really helping people. And I think that's the biggest focal point in this industry, is that you really have the ability to help people. And that is such a tremendous value. And Juan, I love your client appreciation movie. So I have to ask, which one are you doing this time?
We're doing The Flash. We wanted to have more options, but unfortunately there wasn't that many options. There's a couple that I would love to share, but it's either just for adults or just, for kids. But I want to have a good mix, because we have families and we want to make sure that everybody is catered to. So we're watching The Flash. I'm excited. And it's a good way to, see people again and engage in a different setting, not just the business, conversations that we have during the transaction, but we have good cheerleaders. It's been a pretty awesome road that we've been on, and we're grateful and we're giving back to them.
Yeah. Oh, I'm such a huge fan of client appreciation events. They really are. They're such a way to fill everyone's cup. Not just your clients and give a little something back to them, but I've been involved in a lot of these client appreciation events, and the energy level and the support that these type of things bring out is really, it's just over the top amazing. So 100%. We did actually have a question from earlier. The name of the book that you mentioned.
The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, MREA, by Gary Keller. And another great book, and there's a lot of them that he wrote, but the other one that is good for agents, especially if they're newer, is Shift. It goes over when a market shifts and how to tackle it. What I like about that book is it basically gives you the foundation as a new agent, what to do. People that are jumping into the business right now have no clue what it's been before, right? So it's good and it's bad, because they have no reference point. But the beautiful thing about that book is it gives you the instructions as to what to follow. So MREA, Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller, and Shift. There's the one thing which we're going to start reading as a team. We have a book club too, which is awesome. I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier when we become a resource. And I want to say so much that I'm sorry if I'm taking more time, but I feel that being a resource for anything and everything, you get phone calls. I just hung up the phone with a client who purchased a home and he needs an architect or an engineer. They call me, right? Why? Because I have a huge network. Yesterday, actually on Saturday, we were doing our backpack drive at our church. And one of the kids there, he's actually, I call him a kid, he's like in the mid 20s, early 30s. And he owns a tile company. And I was just giving him a few tips, talk to your people, follow up, ask for referrals. And that's how you're going to get busy, because he was having a dip. And as we were speaking, I get a text, Juan, I need a tile guy. And I showed him, I said, this is who you want to be. This is who you want to be, because when you are that resource, you're top of mind, right? And when you're top of mind, people are going to call you for business. So again, always give. And I didn't really used to understand that concept. You have to give. It feels better to give than to receive. And it really does. I mean, it feels great. And then it's reciprocated.
Yeah, like a giver's gain, right?
Man.
By giving, you will in turn gain. Question back to the database, and I just thought about this. When people ask you for resources, does that go into the database as well? So the client that called you up for the tile guy, does your team track those outgoing referrals as well?
We haven't yet, but that's a good point, right? That we should be tracking them. And we were talking about it in the last couple of weeks with our staff, because it's important to know who are we referring to. Because with these client appreciation events, I ask people to contribute and help out. Why? We all get business from this. I'm not the only one benefiting. I'm actually the head of the freaking snake, because we're handing the business to the inspector, to the appraiser, to everybody. Like, everybody benefits from it. Title companies, lenders. And we just give you guys the gift, right? Here you go. Here you go. So when we ask in return is, you know what? Help us out. I don't want the money for me. I want to give back to the people. So I want to help them out. So that's a good point. We should keep track. And we actually got Sisu. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's a tracking platform, which tracks everything, your workouts, meditations, phone calls, dials, appointments, which again, it's narrowing down what is the best source. And for us, about 80% of our business comes from the database. It's changing in the last few years, because Andres and some of my team members are doing a great job with our platforms to get leads. But most of our business comes from this database. So we want to track that. Thank you for that.
Yeah. I mean, I just thought about that. I was like, ooh, that would probably be useful.
It is. We were tracking just our lenders and the title companies, but we haven't tracked the vendors. And that's a good, way to keep tracking how to, say, hey guys, we got to get back to our clients again.
What was the name of that tracking system?
Sisu, SISU.
Sisu. Yeah, we had a question about that. And really, I mean, when you're working your database and you're working information, systems are your best friend. The better your systems. Yep, Sisu, you got it, Jeff. SISU, right?
Correct.
Yep, that is the name of it. So when you have these systems, it really streamlines the process. In real estate, we do spend a lot of time just chasing, leads, chasing our tail, and things can fall through the cracks so easily. So having, your database, having your systems is really important. I've got one more question about database. On average, how many or how much time a day do you and your team spend on your database?
It depends. Andres, he's a freaking animal. He spends all day on the phone. He probably spends 3, 4, maybe 5 hours. I do between 1 and 2 hours a day. And just so you guys understand the magnitude of this is what I've been doing since I started going on my own, because I had nothing when I started doing real estate. We have closed this year. By the end of this week, will be 94 transactions. Most of them from our database. And
Nice.
It's simple. And I only work Monday through Thursday between 1 and 2 hours of prospecting. What you want to do is you want to block your schedule, you want to be intentional, and you want to be consistent, right? Because a river doesn't cut through the rocks because it just comes, the stream comes once. It's because it keeps going and going and going, and for centuries has been doing that. So what you want to do is be consistent with your database, be intentional, and no matter what, just do that. It's simple, right? So we spend, myself, between 1 and 2 hours at the most.
Oh, I mean, that's really perfect though. When you are intentional and you can really dial it in, you can spend a couple of hours a day, 4 days a week, and have a higher level of success than when you are just doing things sporadically. You know, if you're just doing things sporadically, a lot of times you're going to find yourself working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yep. And I want to share a couple more books about that. The Compound Effect, which is by Darren Hardy. Actually, I met him through Patty Carabio many years ago. So he came over to an event. The Compound Effect is an amazing book, which will show you if you're consistent with something, you don't have to do a lot of everything. I think it was Bruce Lee who said, I don't fear the man who practices 1,000 kicks. I fear that man that practices 1 kick 1,000 times. So if you're consistent with it, you're going to be able to do more. And then the one thing, another book by Gary Keller, is sometimes we want to do so many things that we get lured by that and we just busy. We're doing all kinds of stuff, right? But if we do a few things 100% consistently, I mean, it makes a big difference.
Right. The sky's the limit. And in real estate, there are so many shiny objects out there. Real estate agents, y'all get calls every single day with somebody wanting to sell you some kind of product that's going to do something for your business. And that's why we have these marketing matters, is to kind of dive in and explore the different areas of marketing your business so that you can really help to dial in what your specialties are. You know, there are, like there are hundreds of different ways to market your real estate business, as we have explored over the years on Marketing Matters. But you want to do what you are best at, and you want to focus and hone in on that, while also feeding your database. You might be sitting there going, Sarah, I'm not good at data entry. I'm not good at my database. So I'm not going to do that one, even though this is what our entire webinar is today. So still do that one.
Yeah, I think it's important. And one of the things that I was dreading is to log my calls. So I got to a point where I had someone log my calls. They were listening to me behind the scenes.
Yeah.
However, I started doing it this week. And it's so powerful because you're so conscious, okay? I made 22 dials, I had 9 conversations, I have 1 appointment. So if I want to have 2 appointments, I have 44 conversations, 18 contacts, and 2 appointments. Now, out of those 2 appointments, I had so many. So it just gives you so much power when it comes to knowing what to do in order to get the success that you want, right? Because we're just guessing. Everything we do in real estate is like, okay, I'm going to do Facebook, see what happens. I'm going to do Instagram, see what happens. I'm going to do farming and see what sticks, right? So, but if you're intentional with everything, you can see and try, and by tracking, it makes a huge difference. And again, my team members, I think they have a huge advantage because now they get to enjoy all the trial and error for all these years, so they can have a beautiful business that can be predictable and I mean consistent. So you don't have these ups and downs in the market, you know?
Right. Well, that is definitely a benefit for them working with a powerhouse like you. You have gone through, you know, all the trials, and you know what works and doesn't work. So your team is very lucky that they get to just come in and Juan says, do this. And they're like, oh, well, now I'm successful.
It makes I wish I had this opportunity, and I know they've heard me say this a lot. And I wish I got somebody. There's a girl that just started with us about a month ago. And I said, I wish I was sitting in your chair when I was 18. She's 18 years old, barely 18. So the opportunity that she's going to have to learn, and for anybody out there, I mean, sometimes people say, you know what, for example, Keller Williams, it's expensive being a Keller Williams. I say it's expensive not being a Keller Williams. They say, well, the splits in a team are huge. I think 100% of 0 is 0. I don't know if that's true or not, but it is. And if you go by yourself and you don't know what you're doing, you're just going to go and try to, you know, figure it out. Be my guest, but there's other people that live before you that have done it before, which are going to make the road a lot faster, a lot quicker. with avoiding all those mistakes that they've made. There's going to be mistakes still, but they're not going to be as big, or you're not going to take as long to get successful if you are on your own versus being with a team.
Oh, 100%. I think that's the first thing that I learned when I got into the real estate industry, was that real estate is a trade. You don't know what you don't know until you learn it. And having a mentor, a coach, a team leader is really essential in this industry, because the test doesn't prepare people for doing real estate. And you really, this is a learning on the job kind of business. But when you've got somebody that has already gone through it, the most successful people in real estate I know have had coaches, they've had mentors, you know, they get it. They invest in themselves, and it is amazing to watch that process go. So if you are new to real estate, that is probably the number one best piece of advice is, you know, get a coach, mentor, join a team, because they've already done it. They've been through it. Odds are good that they'll have systems. They'll be able to help you design your database and really be successful in this industry.
Definitely. And I think what you mentioned is key. And for all of those out there, you have to have a coach. I have a coach. Gary Keller has a coach. I mean, everybody successful out there has at least 1, 2, 3, and sometimes they have 5 coaches. They have one for family. They have one for spiritual. They have one for health. They have everything, business. So don't feel like, for the one mistake that anybody can make, I don't care how successful you are, by saying I know it all. That moment that you say that, you stop learning. So I'm a student. I'm going to be forever a student, and I love. That's why I mentioned all these books. And they mention in the books that actually Gary Keller mentions in one of them. He says we're standing on the shoulders of giants, right? The success, the knowledge, the experience that you guys are getting from someone that knows a little bit more than you, not everything, is going to be that they're going to propel your business to the next level. And I'm going to just share my little story from coming from a boutique brokerage. Actually, Century 21 was a big broker back then a boutique broker, to now Keller Williams. Having a coach, being with people that are uber successful, having them pull you has made a tremendous difference in our business. It meant from going from 50 transactions to this year, if we're going on the same trajectory, we're going to be at 180 transactions.
Yeah. Oh, I love that one. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. When you surround yourself with people that are better, then you will rise to the occasion. Couple more questions. What CRM do you use?
It's Command. So we use Sync for our leads. A couple of my agents use it religiously. I only use Command, which again, I just work my database. Every now and then I call some of the leads just to prove a point, but they actually are the ones working on Sync. Commission Sync, it's a pricey website. If you don't use it right, if you use it right, it's a very lucrative website. So there's many out there. There's Wise Agent. I think when I had it, it was like $25 a month. Yeah. It worked. They had videos. You could do a lot of stuff with it. So which database is the best?
The one you'll use.
Amen. That's it.
I love that. Yes. And Command, for those of you watching, Command is specifically for Keller Williams.
Yep.
But there are, I mean, Wise Agent, Lion Desk, Follow Up Boss. There are a lot of really great CRMs out there. CRMs do a lot nowadays. So but they are user friendly. And a lot of them have great customer service. Let's see, I've used HubSpot for sales. Jeff is saying that before more generic CRMs and the cloud-based. So yeah, there are probably like I said, probably hundreds of CRMs. But like Juan and I said, the best one is the one that you'll use. So play around. A lot of them do free trials too. So you can get in there, you can, watch, or they even have videos, trial videos that you can watch. So take a little bit of time, invest in spending some time looking for what you think is going to be the best CRM for you. All right, Juan, I have one more question that is totally unrelated to database. Okay. It is related to the market. Because I know you are boots on the ground, you are out there all the time. We were talking about it earlier about the interest rates, about the inventory. But and now that we're kind of getting through we're still in the thick of summer, but kids are going back to school in a couple of weeks, which kind of kicks off our fall market. Where does the Grimaldo Group see our fall market heading?
Go ahead.
Where's it heading? What are going to be maybe the best investments here in the area? And, do we see a lot of people maybe even moving out of the area because it's tough?
No, there's a lot of people moving in here. There's a lot of businesses coming in. I'm sure I have a subscription to Phoenix Business Journal, which they highlight all the businesses coming into the city. There's a lot of them. So in a nutshell, you determine the market you're in. I remember back in 2011, when I went full-time, the market had over 60,000 properties active. Right now we have 7,000. So, and there's still properties every month you sell in a slow month when the market is terrible, 3,000 properties sell. So whenever you feel down, like you're like, crap, the market is bad, there's that, you're buying the story. So it's up to you what kind of market you're going to be living in. And we bought the story for a little bit last year. That's what we did. So the previous year, 2021, we did 143 transactions. 2021, we did 114. We bought the story. And then this year, we're trending way higher than ever. And the reason is you determine your market. When you feel down again, go back to the MLS. See how many properties closed in the last 30 days. You guys can filter that out, right? How many closed? And then if there's 3,000 properties that sold and it's a terrible market, there's 6,000 sites that sold. Who's selling those sites? What are they doing?
Yeah.
Are you actively looking for deals? Are you sitting down with your coworkers or your people in your team and talking about how bad the market is? Or are you out there prospecting? Are you talking to people in the new builds? Are you going out there and making phone calls? Are you door knocking? Are you doing open house? What activities are you doing? What are you going to focus on? Because another saying that from Keller Williams is, what you focus on expands. So if you focus on the negative, that's what you'll see. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So it's up to you. I think that's, you create your own destiny. I don't believe in destiny. I believe that you are the creator of that. And obviously I believe in God. He created us and he created amazing people. So my answer to that is you determine your market.
I love that. That is so incredibly powerful. What a great high note to kind of end our webinar on. It is, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, right? So when the market is a little bit tougher, it is a little bit more difficult, the best really, all it does is it gives you the opportunity to rise to the top, right?
Mindset.
It 100% is, Juan. Well, this has been absolutely awesome. I love having you as a guest on Marketing Matters. I love just kind of spitballing and masterminding back and forth. Hope that it was great information for all of you today as well. And of course, you guys know that you can always find these on our YouTube channel as well. So if y'all have any questions, of course, you can, reach out, let us know. I'm going to wrap up today with some of our other classes that we have coming up. Obviously, we do Marketing Matters every Wednesday, bring you great information, great guests, top producers, just like Juan Grimaldo. But we also have a lot of other classes that we do here at Landmark Title. I've been talking about this one because it is a monthly summer school that Deanna Bone is doing. The next one is actually coming up Monday. This is on Zoom at 10 a.m. and it's the assembly line of surprise and delight. So Deanna, she's a top producer, a team leader. She shares some great information in these. These are free. So if you're interested, scan that QR code and get registered. You do not have to attend all three. You can just attend one if you would like. And then if you're up in the Prescott area, if you're a Prescott agent or you just want to go cool off in the Prescott area, on July 27th, they are doing their next Whiskey Row tour. It starts at 4 o'clock. It's in the square in Prescott. So like I said, whether you are up there or you want to head on up there, these are great tours, also complimentary. You can bring your clients to it. It's a great idea. And then we've got some other classes coming up. Yes, we are already into August, my friends. So using the LLC to purchase rental properties. I think this class is really interesting. I think I would even like to attend it as well, because we are a growing rental market here in the Phoenix area. As housing, shortages occur, and it's harder for people to buy, being on the rental side is great, and LLCs are going to protect you. So if you're interested, this Zoom is August 16th from 1 to 2 p.m. You can type in that Zoom link, or you can reach out to Renee for it and get registered for that as well. And then we've got understanding the appraisal process. This is going to give you 3 hours of CE General credit. This is August 10th. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and it's in person at the atrium at Arrowhead. So if you're interested in getting some CE credits, that's one of the great things that we have available for you at Landmark Title is CE credits, but space is limited for this one. So if you'd like to attend, reach out to Renee, get registered for that one on August 10th. And then we've got Here Comes the Judge. This is another one that is one of our regularly featured programs. The next one's going to be August 17th at the Willow Creek Inn from 1 to 2 p.m. up in the Prescott area. So once again, if you're a Prescott agent, head on over, or if you're here in the Valley and you want to go up to Prescott and check it out, please do let Michelle know that you're coming and she'll be glad to see you. And then we've got the Biltmore Luxury Tour. This one is actually, I think this is coming up next week on the 4th Wednesday of the month. This is a great tour. If you've never done a home tour in the Biltmore area, the Biltmore area is unlike any other area in the Phoenix and metro area. It is luxury, it is old money, it is amazing. So I encourage you to go check that out. Starts at 9 a.m. and they meet at the Camelback Lakes Corporate Center. So scan that QR code too if you would like. And this is also a complimentary tour. All right. And I think that's it for us today, guys. So thank you, of course, to Juan for coming on. It's always just you're a wealth of knowledge. You're an amazing leader. And so it really is just an absolute pleasure to have you on. And then thank you, of course, to our business development management team, Beth, Becky, Melinda, Mary, Michael, Michelle, Patty, Renee, and Keith. Let them know if you guys have any marketing questions, if you need any help with your events. These are the things that we love doing with you all. And then, of course, thank you to Landmark Title for allowing us to bring you Marketing Matters every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. We have 7 offices here in the Valley, 1 up in Prescott, 2 up in the Nevada area to service all of your real estate, escrow, and title needs. Please think of us on your next contract and get out there and get some more contracts. Just because the inventory is low does not mean that you cannot be a high producer, my friends. So thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next week.